Rolling Stone co-founder, reveals he's racist and he's sexist. Put him up full mask. This is a hell of a story. Jann Wenner, who co-founded Rolling Stone magazine and also was a co-founder of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, has been removed from the Hall's board of directors after making, well, disparaging comments toward Black and female musicians. He just couldn't help himself. So the co-founder created a firestorm doing publicity for his new book, The Masters, all right? Which features interviews with major people, major musicians, Bob Dylan, Jerry Garcia, Mick Jagger, Bruce Springsteen, and more. All white, all male. So there was a question during the interview. Why did you not speak with women or Black musicians? The co-founder of Rolling Stone responded, it's not that they're inarticulate, although go have a deep conversation with Grace Slick or Janis Joplin. Please be my guest. You know, Joni Mitchell was not a philosopher of rock and roll. She didn't, in my mind, meet the test. He told the Times. He continued, of Black artists, you know, Stevie Wonder, genius, right? I suppose when you use a word as broad as masters, the fault is using that word. Maybe Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield. I mean, they just didn't articulate at that level. End quote. In the interview, he seemed to acknowledge he would face backlash. So before I read this next quote, I need you to understand, he's not off his rocker here, okay? He's well aware what he's saying is racist and sexist. He anticipates a response because of his extreme point of view, but he couldn't help himself. He says, just for public relations' sake, maybe I should have gone and found one Black and one woman artist to include here that didn't measure up to that same historical standard, just to avert this kind of criticism. I mean, damn, man. I mean, damn. Do you hear yourself, sir? Let's put her up for a mask. Perhaps you should have listed Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who many credited as the mother of rock and roll, predating both Elvis and Little Richard. So as you know, when they are caught and it impacts money, here comes the apology. Let's put it up. So late Saturday, he apologized through his publisher, Little Brown and Company, saying, quote, in my interview with the New York Times, I made comments that diminished the contributions, genius, and impact of Black and women artists, and I apologize wholeheartedly for those remarks. He added, I totally understand the inflammatory nature and badly chosen words and deeply apologize and accept the consequences, end quote. There you have it. Now here's the thing. For the first time, I'm being exposed to the fact that he's racist. I had no idea he was, none. But I promise you the people around him did. I'm sure other members of the board of directors were aware. You gotta think about this. A guy doesn't all of a sudden do a major interview and expose his racism. This is how he talks. This is how he rolls, so to speak. All right, Jackson, thoughts here.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he could have just not said these things, and he knows that. Like but he kind of strikes me as a guy. Maybe I've been here since, in his mind, day one, and now all these rappers and these kids, these crazy people have taken over the industry, and we just don't know what music and art is anymore. But in doing so, he sounded like he don't know a damn thing about music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like. rock and roll pretty much coming from blues. If anybody's familiar with Led Zeppelin, if you listen to their first album, it sounds like a blues album.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so he sound like, for somebody in the position that he's in, he sounds like he don't know nothing about music. And just regardless, music is one of the most, in my opinion, wonderful parts about being a human. It's something that we all can appreciate and communicate and connect with. And it's something that all feeds off of each other. So just the whole way he framed it seemed like he's mad about where America is and the direction that it's going. And that was like his way of getting it out a little bit. So,
you make a compelling point, and he may have, for someone to be in that type of executive position within that genre, to not understand the historical significance of the tapestry involved in creating what we know today as rock music is baffling, to say the least.